Different organizations decide how to use the reject process and the reject tool differently. Generally, the reject form and the reject process are used in situations in which you are unable to provide a service to an applicant. The reject form and the reject process can be accessed at any point during the life cycle of a case, whether it's a pre-screen, at any point during the intake, at the end of the intake on the disposition page, or when the case is actually already open and underway, the reject process is still accessible at that point. Again, typically, these are for situations where either because the applicant or the client is ineligible or became ineligible, a conflict exists or a conflict arose during the life cycle of the case, any other reason why a agency can no longer serve that particular client or maybe knew at the time of application that they would not be able to serve, the reject form is generally appropriate. One thing I'd just like to mention, if the term reject is a problem for your agency or your organization, think about simply renaming the process and the form in LegalServer rather than not utilizing that process at all. It can be really helpful to differentiate those situations where, again, you are unable to provide a service from those situations where you had a case and the case came to its completion, you provided a service, and the client is no longer a client of yours, which is the closing process that we'll turn to in just a minute. You can see I'm here on my pre-screen again. The reject form is accessible from any part of the pre-screen or the intake create processes, or once the case has started. But here under screening status, I'm just going to go right down here to reject to take us right to our reject process. When I hit continue, we can see here, this is my reject form in my reject process. I've got the date of rejection, who it's being rejected by, the funding code. If you've made any organizational referrals, this particular field will actually pull from the organizations on my LegalServer instance that have been tagged with the organization type referral. We have our reject reason that has currently all the various LSC reject reasons, but if those are not applicable, your admin can modify this lookup. We also have the matter referral reporting code for, again, LSC agencies who want to collect this information. As with many of these processes, we have a notes section where we can type up some notes about why the matter was rejected. And we can also email the note to another person in our organization. If I fill this out, just indicating that this is some test or fake data, rather. And I'm also going to just provide the matter referral reporting code and hit continue. And we can see here, we still have our pre-screen, but we can see that here on the snapshot, we have some of our rejected information.